Hi guys, I'm Sege Hove. Realize running this show on a Saturday in the middle of July is probably not the best idea for a test run, but we'll see how it goes. Um, I'm hoping if someone's in the chat, they can give me a thumbs up if I have audio and everyone can hear me okay. We're here today to talk about Cachetur. Basically, what you can do with it and what you can't do. I see there are some people in the chat today. Basically, if there's anything you wonder, ask, and we'll try to answer as best as we can. One thing that can be good to look at while you're at Cachetur is tips and templates. We have our trip templates, which are trips our users have created for us. Many of these trips are in Norwegian since Cachetur began as a Norwegian project some years ago, and our main user base is Norwegian and we speak Norwegian. But we also started to get some new templates from our new users abroad. You can search for these templates by typing the name of a city. You can show the newest ones, the most voted ones, random ones, and you can even search for templates in your countries by going up to the main search bar, like trying to search for USA. When you search for the USA, you will get templates and lists. You will get some tips which Tomfre, our creator, has put out. These are in Norwegian. And you will also get country information. In here you can see more of the templates and lists for America. The Q&A section is pretty much quite open. Ask anything you want to ask and we'll try to answer it. I just talk in the meantime. I'm known for not sleeping and not shutting up. So. And you will also, when we've done a country search, you will see upcoming megas and gigas in that country. And recommended caches. These caches are sorted on by the favorite points they have received, so it's fairly accurate that these are caches that might be worth a visit. Yeah, of course we could try. Do you have a GeoWatch in mind? Because basically GeoWatch, first we need to know the... Yeah, nice, you have one. Bring it on. Give me a couple of GC codes and I'll find it here. I'm hoping I'm going to the correct Delaware. Let's see, GC5XV59. Oh, really? GC5XV1K. Okay. Let's try the main page search. Woohoo! Delaware State Star. Yeah. There's several ways we can do this, either by going into the cache page or through the map. The best thing I want to recommend is installing the cache trip assistant. This one is covered in some other videos we have on our YouTube channel on how to install it, so please look at those. The YouTube, the Cachetur assistant doesn't work that well on the new search map from geocaching.com, so we have to use the browse geocache map. Whoa! Zoom out a little bit. There we have them. Let's just look at the description for the first one. Yeah, so basically these are all mysteries where you have to solve the puzzles. But anyway, what I would do, I would create a new trip in Cachetur. We call it, I just copy paste Delaware State Star. I'll set it as a car trip, destination Delaware. As of right now, we haven't decided at any time where we're going to do it, so to keep the trip from ending prematurely, we're going to set it as time is not decided, or what we call draft mode. We need to fill in trip name, trip type, destination, and basically that's it. We can choose to either make this trip private, which is standard, or password protected, so you can share a password with your friends. They can get access to the trip. If you have a public group you're a member of, or a private group you can create by yourself, you can also add this trip to one of those groups. But for now, let's just save the trip as is. We have to select on top here the Delaware State Star trip, and basically just send all the caches to Cachetur. Quick and easy. I'm not going to send everyone just yet, but we go back to Cachetur and we refresh the page, and we can see we'd started to get the caches in here. We can click the blue eye icon and we can get the cache description back up again. So of course we have to solve for our coordinates to get the corrected coordinates, and then we can just around here we can find a hidden menu, and in here we can correct the coordinates. Once we've done that, and hit save. That should correct our coordinates, and we can actually, if I change just now on random from 19 to 20, change, and we can see I have a pencil icon in the back here that indicates that these coordinates have been changed. What we can do now, because you probably want to have the trip in the best possible order. This is after we've done all the corrected coordinates. We can go edit trip and sort prioritize waypoints. Now, as long as the trip is below 80 caches, we can toggle all the caches and we can hit calculate and sort by optimal route. Of course, this route now won't make much sense since I haven't corrected all the coordinates, but this way Cachetur will sort the route for you by data that is available at OpenStreetMaps and GraphHopper, our maps providers. Tomfra will probably correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So Cachetur has now sorted everything for us, and we can click the Save Sorting Prioritizing button. And then the caches will be sorted in the correct order, except the first one and the last one. That feature will always sort caches from in between the first one and the last one, because the first one and the last one is usually your fixed waypoints. To get around that one, to actually sort all the geocaches, you can add private waypoints, like say your home or whatever. So we can do we can call it a parking waypoint name, home, and we give it coordinates. Let me just copy these ones just to enter someone in. We add the waypoint. We can add another one, because we probably want to end up back at the same meeting place again. Now, when I did this now, you can see that the two new waypoints ended up in the bottom of my trip, but I can drag one of them back on top and save sorting. Now I have, let's say, half the trip in here, and if I go back to the map now to add the next geocache, we can see that that cache will also end up at the bottom. I can rearrange again manually and save sorting, or I can do it the quick and easy way. I can hold the mouse button here between where I want the new caches to end up and double click and make an insertion point. Double click again and you remove the insertion point. You can see that the insertion point is now live because I have a dotted line where I want the new caches to pop up. So if I now add number 13, we go back and we can see that number 13 has arrived where I wanted it in the trip. Of course, since these ones are mysteries, just right now the order of how I add them won't have anything to say. What we need is our start point and end points must be the first one and last ones for our trip optimization to actually work. Ooh, I have a small screen when I'm doing this. Refine my menus. So basically, toggle all the waypoints you want to search, or search sort, and then calculate the optimum route for them. And yeah, once you have solved the puzzle, you will have indicators that the coordinates are corrected, and when we scroll further down and view our map, the cache will actually change position on the map to the correct one. Did that make sense, or did I go too quick? Also, what can be nice when you're doing trips like this, if it's a GWAT or just a trip from point A to point B, is check out this little info and hit tips and info. And we get up a new page. Basically, this one is supposed to show if there's trip templates in your area and caches in the area of your trip that's of certain high percentage of favorite points that could be great to add to your trip. Just small pointers. Yeah. Of course, if you also invite your friends into the trip and they have found the geocaches, you will see icons here to indicate that these caches are found by your friends, as long as all the necessary data is shared on their geocaching account. Yeah, I'm not gonna show that page with all my task answers. I'm gonna find a I can do on my demo trip. Most of the links that you will see up here probably won't make sense to non-Scandinavian speakers, since Cachetur was actually first made in Norwegian with Norwegian links and everything. When the trip is done on the date, the menus up here will change somewhat. And you will see in English a post-trip assistant will arrive here. That is loggehjelp in Norwegian. I hope I inputted the correct one. Yeah. If you have virtuals or earth caches in your trips, this is a nice place to keep a record of your responses and task answers. You can't send them from here, but you can draft your responses to the CO and open the profile online on geocaching.com and send the answer either by mail or the messenger service. That depends on what the CO has, where they have said they want the answers. Mark your answers as complete, okay. Approved by cache owner, as sent, as is. And if you have friends on your trip, you can also make your answers available to your trip partners. Easter eggs? How many have you found? What haven't you found? You can try to search for yourself, Chris. Yeah. Make available to all participants. So basically, when you're several people on a road trip and you work on the task answers for the virtuals in group, you can share and collaborate as long as the trip owner makes the answers available to all trip participants. Yeah, no. I think I found 5 or 6 Easter eggs. I'm not sure how many Easter eggs actually is on Cachetur. I was reminded the other day of an Easter egg I had forgotten all about, but let's see. Let me just look in another window here. This is an Easter egg. I'm not gonna tell you how to find it, but you can find it somewhere on Cachetur. So far, it seems that I'm the only one who's actually found it. It's maybe you're lucky enough to find it. We'll see how many finds it during this little show. Also, on your trips, expenses. None of us actually want to know how much money we've spent on our geocaching trips, but sometimes your friends who are going on longer road trips together and you're gonna share expenses, gas, rental, whatever. You can actually get help in here with who paid what and how much. The amounts here is actually decided in your user settings found here. Me being Norwegian, everything is in Norwegian oil dollars, or Norwegian kroners as we call it. So you can fill in an amount and a description, gas, and specify if it's shared equally between the participants or someone has a bigger share or a smaller share than the other ones. And it will divide everything up, who owes who what, and yeah. Nice little feature to keep handy. Ooh. I managed to click the wrong button, so all of a sudden I disappeared. Let me go back. Yeah. Any other questions before I continue on with my ranting? Of course, the most important thing to remember, if you have trouble while you're on your trips, inside the trip that you have problems with, up here we have the question mark. Click and get a send message to Cachetur.no. Select a topic, help, whatever it's closest to what you need, and send us a message. I'm just gonna do leave alone so no one else responds to this unnecessarily, and fill in. Now the alarms will sound at the Cachetur people and they can come in and respond, help you. We are close to 24/7 support, but we are geocachers. We have day jobs, so sometimes it might take us a few minutes to be able to respond. Basically, you send in a response, the support team actually can't see your trips. We don't have access to your accounts. We can't see the problems for you. If you have a specific problem that you think we might need to solve for you, hit this button, grant access to second line support, which would make the support team able to see your trips. We can even help you sort a few waypoints, and yeah, basically everything you can do, we can do with your trip. Usually, sometimes we might know a little bit more about how to do things than you, and other times, yeah, we might be stuck ourselves, but we always give it the best try, and we always have Tomfre to help us to come up with the correct answers. Yeah, we like to think that our support is second to none. Lucky Luke had the fastest gun in the West, and yeah, I think we have the fastest support system in the geocaching world. At least I hope so. So always use help when you're stuck. We have a small community in something called Slack. Slack is basically a chat application. They have an app for iPhones, Androids. You can use it in the browser, or you can use it in a Windows application. Plenty of channels. Some are private, some are open for all. People in there also close to 24/7, always talking about Cachetur. Could also be a great place to get help, tips, hints, what you need. And we have our help center. This link will now take me to the Norwegian one, since I have a Norwegian user, but should take English users to the English one. Yeah, I'm way behind on this one. I feel I'm constantly behind, because if we can see on the front page, Tomfre is always doing changes to Cachetur. You can see on the change log down here, and yeah, I need to find the time to be able to update this site accordingly to his changes. But we try to make the help center as easy as possible. You have quick start, how to create new trip, FAQ, how to authenticate and use, recommended use. Over here is the last changed pages, but also, as you can see on the left hand side, we have tried to sort it into groups: trips, recommended use, how to get started, submenus here, how to create, how to use the Cachetur assistant, suggestions, privileges, everything we try to group together where they belong, to make it easier to find, and also hopefully answer some questions. Yeah, Actually, a good question. So use the help center. Use the help, send message to Cachetur. Yeah, you can see up on the bell here, I've already gotten a response to my support request. Sometimes I've actually seen a support request come in, answered it, and just as I sent my answer in, the user logged off. I'm pretty sure people are used to other user supports being slow, so they figured, just log off and come back in a few hours. If you stick around for 10 to 15 minutes, we'll probably have an answer for you. And you can see the update in here. You will get an email as long as you've accepted to receive emails from us. Should be in settings. Email notifications. We will, whatever you set your settings to here, you will receive emails from us on changes to caches in your trips, whatnot. Even if there's new events published close to your trip routes, you will get notification about, hey, there's a new event close to your trip. Maybe you want to attend this one. Yeah, Norwegian user, I have somewhat different menus than what other ones might have. Also, if you like us, you enjoyed the project or the product, look into contributing to us. It's not a demand, but we always appreciate contributions. You can see in most currencies, you can donate in most currencies, and also what the various amounts would help to cover. Cachetur is purely funded by voluntary contributions, and none of us that stays up here at 3 a.m. doing these videos, answering support requests, Tom Frey, who was doing all the computer magic by himself, none of us get paid. It's all voluntary work. These nice little tags. Yeah, actually bought it myself. Have a few ones that might be handed out this evening to some lucky people in the chat. Yeah, the app. We have a small app, or a, what did we call it now? Digital road book. It's both for Android and iOS. Basically, I like to refer to it as a digital trip template of a printed trip. It's actually available in a few languages, decided by your phone settings. So if the app appears in a language you don't understand, it's in your phone settings. If the Cachetur page appears in a language you don't understand, it's probably something you clicked up here. You can change to quite a few languages over there. The app, once you've logged in, first time you don't have any trips in it, so you get the message about no trips stored. Download your trips, and all of your trips that are not in draft or completed should appear here, and you can download the trips you want, and you will see them on your trip main page. These are in the order of how you sorted them in your trip. Paperless trip book, you had Humphrey. And we have a small map up here on the 3 dot lines. You can see the caches placed on a map. A little hard for me to zoom in and zoom out on this emulator, but clear ETA overrides, refresh trip data. If I downloaded this trip yesterday, but I did some changes this afternoon, I can update that one. Enable speak status on arrival. It will actually tell you you're 4 minutes ahead of schedule or behind schedule, depending on how you're doing. When you click a cache, you can either mark it as arrived when you arrived at it or departed when you leave it. You can see on this one in the trip settings, it's an estimated arrival at 8, estimated 4 minutes to find the geocache, so 8:04 is departure. You have the coordinates, hint, or you can click map and open in one of your map apps on your phone. If I now select Google Maps, that one will become the main app, so next time you print map, it will open Google Maps automatically. If you long press the map button, you will get this menu back again. Open will give you the option to either open in your geocaching app, on geocaching.com, or on Cachetur.no. And yeah, it will only open on authorized geocaching.com apps. Same here. If you set your default open with as the geocaching app, you have to long press again to get the menu back. If I click arrived, you can see that the time has changed, and all the times down here have now actually changed accordingly to the ETA I had on the first geocache. The app isn't on the latest version. Just let me try to refresh it here. to English. Let's see. Notes. You can here actually mark your geocache in the Cachetur app as found, unattempted, DNF, whatever, by clicking the drop down. That even skipped, you didn't have time for this cache due to time issues. You took a photo here, you want to give it a favorite point, did maintenance, write a small note, save, or save and upload. I'll show you where these ones end up later. When you do it here, you won't log anything on geocaching.com. As I said, all the times will update when you hit arrived and even departed. Here on the Earth cache, you can use this feature to type in your task answers and save them. You can upload a picture and send it to your task answers. And you will find them again. Yeah, of course, now I used another account. I used Cachetur.no account for this trip, so I don't have that one in here, but when you send notes or pictures through the app, they will appear in the post-trip assistant on your trip. Notes will appear here. That we wrote behind there. Found it. You want to give it a favorite point. You took a picture. And the picture should, if I haven't misunderstood completely, I'm not the biggest app user. I'm mostly a GPSR user. But the picture you upload should end up in the corresponding geocache in the task answer section. Am I correct, Tomfre? Yeah. I've actually written about that in the help center. You have saved waypoints. Sometimes my memory is stuck. Saved places. Written how to make them. I'm just gonna scroll quickly through it. Tips and templates, saved places. Sometimes you have fixed waypoints where you always meet your friends that you're going to go geocaching with at certain location, whatever. Always start at a certain location. You can add these places in. So when you create a new trip on the waypoints here, you can actually add a saved place. So there I've added a start, and I'm gonna say end there. Yeah, it's gonna be some random buttons I'm hitting. And save trip. Now we have 2 non-geocache locations as a start and end point. And you can also add them manually if you have the coordinates. Select if it's parking or a meeting point, give it a name, enter your coordinates. If you're unsure about your coordinates, tools and resources, we have our geocoding. If the place exists with the name on OpenStreetMaps, you can actually search for it. And you can copy the coordinates to the clipboard. You can basically zoom in and click anywhere on the map and copy out the coordinates you need. And you can already from here add them to your trip. Select the trip, say meeting point, add, and the meeting point is sent to the trip. That was this one. Yeah. So geocaching HQ is now set up as a meeting point in my trip. Of course, as you probably noticed, I didn't use the insertion point. So it would end up in the bottom. Or you can zoom in on this map as well. Right click, add new waypoint here. And that one arrived up here. So yeah, there's plenty of places you can add basically anything you want, as long as it's some of these waypoints actually doesn't even need coordinate either. So you can add whatever information you need. Yeah, little info on the pictures in the post-trip assistant. Also, virtuals Inert caches, what could be a good idea is description in print. You can either be like me, be lazy and copy in the cache description, and then just delete everything that doesn't have anything to do with the task you need, and hit save. That way that info will show up in the app for you, or in the print for your trip. You can see an indicator here that this earth cache now has a print description. It will save you a lot of trouble on the road for what was the task at hand again. And the same is for the virtuals. On this small button here, or did you mean that one? With me now it's in metric meters. If your user setting is set to imperialistic, you will get it in miles, feet, whatever. The app showed ETA, estimated time of arrival. If you leave your trip like this one, the ETA will be blank in the road book until you hit arrived on your first geocache or first waypoint. But while you're doing the plans, you know you're gonna leave your hotel at, say, 10 a.m. When you move your mouse at the far right on your waypoint, you can see there's a hidden icon that shows up. And in here we have ETA override, hours and minutes. This one uses military time, so no AM, PM. But we plan on start at this geocache at, let's say, 10 a.m. And let me refresh the page. And now all of a sudden we have updated ETAs also on the website and in the app. That will help you as you plan, add more geocaches. You will see that, I won't have time to do this one, I won't have time to do that one. You have to start skipping and removing caches that might not be as interesting for you or whatever. The estimates here are estimates. Some people are slower, some people are faster. If you go to your settings, we have a time calculation. Administration time per cache in seconds. If you use 5 minutes to generally open up the geocache, pick out the logbook, sign the logbook, take some pictures, enjoy the scenery. change 5 minutes into seconds and fill that one in here. Then these trip estimates will also take those 5 minutes into consideration. And you can manually override the stop time on a geocache. On this geocache you want to spend an hour, so you can type in an hour in seconds or whatever, and the times will change accordingly. Sometimes it might COs haven't added parking coordinates to the geocaches. So we have a small nice little menu here, parking coordinates for use in routes. You will get a small map where your geocache is. And roads you can change from one of our map providers. These are areas I'm not familiar with, so I'm basically gonna click there. Looks like a nice parking place. And save. I now added a parking place. That parking location will be available to me on I'm on a wrong trip now. Like I said, some options in the menus aren't available for trips in draft mode. I'm just gonna go here. We have download, export, and trip packages. Me being a hefty GPSR user over app, I have my trusted Garmin handheld, and I also have a Garmin in-dash device. So I can download waypoint GPX files for my handheld and a drive route for my sat nav in my car. And basically that drive route will use these parking coordinates, and it will, that I selected in this menu, and I will be navigated from geocache to geocache on my dashboard. I don't have to press any buttons, I don't have to do anything, everything is manual, and it will route me into my parking coordinates. Holy crap, I've been talking for an hour now. Also, while you're doing your pre-planning, you can, with hitting this arrow button, you can also show the geocache on Google Maps Street View. Might give you an indication for what you're looking for, as long as there is a good street view. And it actually might help you shave off some time when you're in the field. Yeah. Who wants tone phrase. Have a few tags we're gonna share out tonight. How do you want to do this, Tomfre? I wanted to see if someone had found this Easter egg yet. Hey, Kitty Cat has found it. Nice job. So someone did find an Easter egg today. Now's your chance. We have 3 tags that's going out today. All of a sudden people got quiet. Gene Hunter, Richie Trice. If you send us a private message with your addresses, we know where to ship them. And we'll also be able to get in touch with you there. Here in Norway, where I am now, the sun is actually going to go up in 12 minutes. So I might be time for me to actually go to bed soon. I hope to see more of you in Slack. We might have some nice conversations in there later, and as we grow into this YouTube thing with the live streams, we might be able to get some more fixed times for when we're going to run them and for how long, and also probably we are looking into more topic related live streams rather than just Q&As also. So hopefully you learned something today, and if not, use the help center, contact us, talk with us on Slack, ask us on Facebook. You can reach us pretty much anywhere, anytime. Slack and Facebook is places where you will also be able to get help and response from our users as well. So that might be a nice place to try and ask. Well, it's time for me to say thank you to those of you who showed up. Remember to send us your contact info so we know where to give you the tags. And have a good night.